There have been a few of you recently who have told me basically, shut the fuck up. We don't need your stupid fucking religion. You know, this is a work of prayer for me, every bit of it. And God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. I posted this. It's by grace and grace alone that we sell all and give everything to Jesus. And if you don't know that grace, then you are not his disciple. Luke chapter 14, verse 33 states that unless you renounce all you have, you cannot be his disciple. Jason Sater says, "This is so openly stupid. I challenge you to sell all your belongings and give away all of your possessions to the poor. The Jesus you worship is nothing more than a Roman invention. He is a demigod. In fact, the Romans borrowed heavily upon the Greek mythology that they worshipped at the time. The impregnation of Mary is a retelling of all the Zeus stories. Have you ever heard of Leda and the Swan? The Jesus you talk with is nothing more than your imaginary friend." To which I respond, I have already done it. By God's grace, it was done through me. I was 25 years old. I sold my possessions and gave the proceeds to drill water wells in Africa, and I continue today to live in a state of willingness to give unto death. You underestimate my depth and intelligence. And more importantly, you underestimate the power of God. God bless you. Jason says, "So you still give all your stuff away? Drilling wells in Africa is a good thing. How many did you drill this year? 25 years ago, you did a good thing. Kudos. All that really matters is now. God is a creation of man, not the other way around. Yahweh is one of 8,000 gods created by man. People believed with all their hearts in all 8,000, just like you do now. None of the 8,000 are real." To which I respond, "Thank you for your criticism. I see that my production level is not to your standards. It is true that I have not helped to drill any more wells in Africa in a very long time. I did, however, study and practice in the healing arts and teach and perform music at university. I also contributed in law enforcement and the armed forces. I have made many efforts to educate myself on multiple fronts. I have always done my best to bring something of true value to my community. I have a loving self-respect for my life's work, and I stand behind the post that I made today as a part of that work. And I am okay if you are unwilling to value me, but I will share with you a little bit nonetheless. All that matters is now. Yes, I agree, and I understand. I will continue in my efforts to do good." A little background. As a singer-songwriter, I became really interested in how to tell a good story. Along that way, I discovered the work of Joseph Campbell and Carl Jung. Through their work, I became acquainted with the concept of archetypal story. Along those lines, I appreciate you mentioning all 8,000 gods. Campbell and Jung were really tuned in to all the religions and stories that you have mentioned. It sounds like you have been studying that too. Perhaps if you took a deeper look at their work, you would not feel compelled to belittle and attack storytellers and people of faith like myself. Religious stories are woven into the fabric of our very being, biology. In that sense, an attack on a reasonable storyteller like you leveled at me today seems quite like an attack on all of humanity. But I know you have very good reasons for doing so. When religions and stories are used as fear-based control mechanisms, no one wins. And that must be the practice that you have assumed I am engaged in. My work is a direct subversion and challenge to unconscious and fearful religion as it occurs in our world today, and I believe my work to be necessary. I am at my next logical and spiritual step in a lifetime process of both liberation and conservation. Campbell's and Jung's work, among many others, helped me to contextualize stories and religion in a sociological and biological framework. I am particularly fascinated at how stories are a biological/evolutionary occurrence. Franz de Waal is an atheist primatologist whose book, The Bonobo and the Atheist, affected me deeply. I like his take on our responsibility to understand religious stories, how they have helped us, and how we have grossly misused them as fear-based control mechanisms. I found atheism, in my personal explorations, became very much like a religion in itself. In other words, it required an absolute faith in material, Materialism, you might say. It seems unfathomable to me now, and rather close to extinction on the world scene, considering advances in what we now understand about the quantum realm and molecular biology and other fields. All the best to you. I prayed for your well being today with all my heart. I mean you no harm. Also, I can comment on the initiation value of selling all and giving to the poor. This act that I did when I was 25 years old changed my worldview forever. It helped me to understand more deeply our social ties to money. It helped me to understand social expectations concerning money. It basically turned the matrix into ones and zeros right in front of my eyes. Your comments are a really welcome part of my work today. You know how they say, if you want to discover the corruption, follow the money? Well, it turns out that selling possessions and giving to the poor really tunes you into the corruption of it all. Also, I am fascinated by how religious-less you claim to be, but how self-righteous and condemning you were of me. This has been one of my discoveries, and also one of the discoveries of Franz de Waal, who I mentioned in the previous reply, that oftentimes people who are anti-religious are some of the most venomous and hurtful people you can meet. Did you smell blood in the water? There is no God is not something you can prove, and yet you attack with such certainty. There are many incredibly intelligent people who acknowledge a creative intelligence. Do you treat all religious folks that way, or is it just me? Hate is hate, brother. In other words, if you pride yourself in being anti-religious, and yet you have no love, what then do you really have? These are just some ideas you might want to consider before you make sweeping assumptions about someone. And now there is a public record of it right here on my timeline. Maybe you could consider this a graceful little wake-up call. God loves you, and encounters just like this one are exactly how God makes us aware of our woundedness. And it appears to me that you are hurting, and that woundedness is also my work. We are all feeling it. It is understandable, and I'm just going to call it what it is. I am certainly growing from this encounter. You are calling me to describe my work in greater detail. I have 1,800 videos on my Travel and Trav YouTube channel, all of which I'm sure you would find equally as offensive as my post today. Seriously, thanks. Now I'm having fun. I will pray for you again right now, for real. And Jason replies one more time. He says, anyone pushing their poison in the public space deserves everything they get. Religion is a nasty problem for individuals and for society. Do something that might make a difference in the world. Prayer is statistically a waste of time. To which I say, the religious mind is not limited to religion, and that is one thing that we discover when we devote ourselves to anything wholeheartedly. I'm curious about you. What are you studying, Jason? What do you give yourself to fully? What has that been like for you? And also, did you read my thoughtful and intelligent responses or not? I love you. I want you to be well. And that is all the result of a story-based and spirit-based practice for me. God bless you and keep you, Jason.